right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Viper, 1994. There we go. Is that better? All right. I'm giving this one 5 out of 5 stars. I love this flick. This ranks as one of the highest Lorenzo Lamas movies, in my view. Right up there with Snake Eater 3, which may have come out the same year. I don't recall. If I had to choose the top Lorenzo Lamas television shows and movies, I would pick Viper, number 1. Snake Eater 3, number 2. The Rage, number 3. Renegade, number 4. I think that's how I'd rank them. Bad Blood, known as in most international territories as Viper, we like the Viper version better, is a 1994 U.S. action film directed by Tibor Takas, starring Lorenzo Lamas, Frankie Tom, Hank Sheen, Joe Sun, and John P. Ryan. Lamas stars as a bitter ex-cop who, after losing his badge and serving time to protect his crooked brother, is asked by their father, played by the great John P. Ryan, and his ex, now the brother's girlfriend, to defend him once more against the powerful mobster he has defrauded. Like MDP's earlier Joshua Tree, Bad Blood mixes noir with Hong Kong influences, and it shares some personnel with that film. I have not seen Joshua Tree, but I will look for it, add it to my list. We will get this going here. This movie has it all, and don't waste any time either. What am I doing here? Oh, here we go. There, that's better, I think. Sorry for the shaky camera. Within the first 10 minutes, you've got nudity, and it's just relentless. The gore is relentless. The explosions are relentless. The cool kickboxing fights are relentless. The only reason not to watch is the torture scene, but even that's cringy, difficult to watch, getting some guy's hand in a vice. Then he gets burned with some kind of hot rod. It's hard to imagine that somebody would squeal and get his father killed based on torture tactics, but it's the movies. Anything's possible in a movie like this. It would have been the reason why I'd give this a 4 rating instead of a 5, but this movie had so much else going for it that it was the ridiculousness of the torture scene was seemed trivial at that point. Unrepentant shyster Franklin Blackstone is ambushed on a parking lot by 2 mobsters who accuse him of defrauding their organization with the help of an associate named Ricardo. Franklin escapes the hit, but Ricardo, his wife, and their young daughter are cruelly executed by a lone killer while picnicking at a public park. Meanwhile, Franklin's brother Travis, who works for a motor scrap yard, notices a woman observing him at a baseball diamond. The woman is accosted by members of the same gang that earlier targeted Franklin. Travis takes her defense, but she leaves hurriedly. Later, she reconnects with Travis at a bar. A strip bar, of course. Lorenzo Lamas trying to get the Steven Seagal vibes going at minute 10 here, where she is revealed to be Rhonda, his ex-girlfriend. Rhonda has some nice fake boobs. All the women in this are like silicone breast, big time, and they've got doorknob size pink nipples to boot. Travis' current girlfriend, Lindy, an employee of the bar, is displeased to see the two hanging out. Uh-oh, she's jealous. The blondie with the fake boobs. Rhonda informs Travis. Rhonda, the redhead with the fake boobs and the lighter skin, I might add, informs Travis that his brother has run into trouble again. Travis is unsympathetic, but agrees to visit him when he learns that he has taken in the brother's ailing father, John, played by the great John P. Ryan. John P. Ryan just wants to sit around and watch television all day. Leave him alone. At first, I thought the redhead was John P. Ryan's girlfriend, but it ended up being the troublemaker son there. All right. Production company Smart Film and MDP Unlimited, distributed by Live Entertainment. Release date November 3rd, 1994. Running time 93 minutes. Country U.S. language English. And a budget of $2 million. Kind of a low budget, I guess. Was $2 million a lot of money back in 1994? Well, yes and no. It depends on when you compare it to the blockbusters, I guess it's not much money. Travis's current girlfriend, Lindy, an employee of the bar, is displeased to see the two hang out. She's jealous. Rhonda informs Travis that his brother has run into trouble once again. He's got bankster hitmen coming after him, including a sadistic Chinese dude or Asian guy, I guess. I don't know his nationality, actually. But he's into lesbian foo. So they show lesbian foo while he's just sitting there watching. And then the lesbian turns into a bisexual when she kisses him. It's like a three-way. Menage a trois on this one. And why is the Chinese dude wearing underwear that has a U.S. flag on it? Travis is unsympathetic, but he agrees to visit him when he learns that he has taken in the brother's ailing father, John. Travis has an uneasy reunion with Franklin and their father, who pleads with him to help his younger sibling buy enough time with the mob to reimburse the money he owes, ostensibly $100,000. It is revealed that Travis is a former cop who was expelled from the force, and he served time in prison after taking the fall for Franklin in a previous scam, as he wanted to protect him from prison violence. While he was away, Rhonda started dating Franklin, although she hints that she might still be interested in him. Franklin's house is attacked by more henchmen looking to abduct the senior Blackstone, but Travis again helps repel them. Traumatized by the intrusion, Franklin reveals that he has implicated the father's companies in a money laundering scheme for the cartel, and that the money he stole actually amounts to $5 million. Well, that's a big difference. He has since lost it after entrusting it to a shifty friend who swore he squandered it in a get-rich-quick scheme of his own. Buy real estate, watch it go up in price 6 times. Meanwhile, one of the henchmen who escaped the confrontation reports back to Buddha Chang, the cartel's boss and the sadistic killer of Ricardo and his family. Buddha Chang is into lesbian foo and three-way sex in his U.S. flag undies. I guess it's not really sex, it's dry humping and kissing. Chang is informed that their efforts were thwarted by the same men they saw with Rhonda at the baseball park. Travis moves his father to the home of an old friend nicknamed Preacher. He's doing transcendental meditation, and he gets beat over the head brutally 3 times with a hammer by some Michael Madsen lookalike, low-budget version of Michael Madsen, while the rest of the group rent rooms at a downtown hotel. The brothers then pay a visit to Franklin's former partner, who under duress reveals that he still has much of the money Franklin invested with them. Now flush with cash again, Franklin balks at actually giving it back to the mob. Meanwhile, a suspicious Lindy visits Franklin's place looking for Travis and Rhonda. Although they have left the place, she finds Chang there. She offers the kingpin an alliance in exchange for information leading him to Franklin. Chang will kill Travis as punishment for going back to Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Show me those fake breasts. The film was written by Neil Ruttenberg before director Tibor Takat's frequent collaborator and fellow Canadian Brian Irving took a pass at the screenplay. Although he went uncredited for his rewrite, Irving received mention as an associate producer. The script's title, also the filming title, was Smoke on the Water. The IMDb, based on unspecified sources, put filming circa June 1993, with the budget coming in at close to $2 million US. Gordon Hessler, who had directed several action films for producer Alan Amiel, while the latter worked for Trans World Entertainment in the 1980s, served as second unit director. Principal photography took place in the Los Angeles agglomeration. Some sources mention Indianapolis, Indiana, as an additional location, but there's no such indication in the credits. After filming, the title was changed to Viper for international markets and Bad Blood for North America, which star Lorenzo Lamas said was the intended title. In the U.S., the film was substantially edited to secure an R rating from the MPAA. The original cut remained intact in a number of international territories. I guess I watched the uncut version. I don't know. It's hard to say. The movie title says Viper, but they may have still cut it. I don't know. The film was released theatrical in some foreign markets, such as Japan, where it premiered on June 4th, 1994, courtesy of distributor Comstock Group. In the U.S., Bad Blood was acquired by premium cable channel HBO for broadcast as part of its world premiere lineup of movies, whose name was often not strictly accurate. It debuted on September 3rd, 1994. In the U.S., the film arrived on VHS tape via Live Entertainment through WEA Video on May 9th, 1995. Live also issued the film on Laserdisc 1. On Laserdisc, sorry. Live also issued the film on Laserdisc on the same date. Bad Blood had received mixed to positive reviews, with its violence standing out as a divisive element. In his review for the book Video Hound's Video Premieres, reprinted from his Roanoke Times column, Mike Mayo noted that the director Tibor Tackatz has obviously been watching his John Woo movies, noting the same careful choreography and good lighting. However, he regretted that too often, though the graphic violence verges on sadism. I'll agree with that, but it actually makes the movie better, though. Ballantine Books Video Movie Guide did not take kindly to the film's intense content, lambasting it as grotesquely violent. We like grotesquely violent on this channel, as well as offensively stupid and gory. We like that too. Before warning its readers, don't watch it on a full stomach. Yeah, it did make me queasy, the torture scene. Even the three-way sex was kind of dirty. Made me feel dirty with that Chinese dude there. There should have been a third white woman with fake breasts in that scene, and it would have made the same difference to the plot. TV Guide's Robert Party deemed the film viscerally exciting, but found Lamas's efforts to save his unlikable, manipulative brother an inappropriate motivation for his character. That's a good point. Why does he keep trying to protect this loser? The family that shoots together, stays together, I guess. I don't know. It's bizarre. He keeps coming back to put himself in danger. At first he goes to jail, and at second he's avoiding bullets because the men with machine guns are like A-team. They're shooting at dirt. However, he granted that since Bad Blood movies along in an action cyclone, viewers won't have much breathing space to ponder its illogic. Yeah, everything's happening so fast that it's just mindless entertainment at this point. In his book, the American martial arts film, Emily Ray Lott wrote that the film continued the winning ways of Lamas's other MDP release, Blood for Blood, which Bad Blood actually predates. He also disagreed with Party's criticism, appreciating the contrast between the two brothers, one a hardworking blue-collar man and the other a suit with a taste for easy money. Shortly after completion, Lamas expressed satisfaction with the film, and he announced that he would work with MDP again. Two possible projects were mentioned, tentatively named Harang Do and Bazak. The actor's next film with the company was actually released in 1995 under the title Blood for Blood, or Midnight Man outside of North America. If I don't have that one on my list, then I will certainly add it. So we've got Blood for Blood and Joshua Tree that we're going to add. We like MDP on this channel. All of a sudden, thanks to Karate Man. Like I said, Karate Man sends me a lot of crap, but then every once in a while, once a blue moon, I get this gem with Lorenzo Lamas, and I'm not a huge Lorenzo Lamas fan. Okay, this one says 1 hour 30 minutes, so I do think I watched the uncut version. of this because I think it was longer than 1 hour, 30 minutes. And it said Viper in the title. Here's the Viper movie poster. It looks pretty cool with Lorenzo Lamas and a blurry gun and a blurry skyline. I can't read what the movie poster says, though. Bad Blood, 1994, rated R, 1 hour, 30 minutes. That's the cut Bad Blood version, I'm assuming. It gets a low 4.6 out of 10 on IMDb, only 619 ratings. Underrated. This is an underrated Karate Man recommendation. A trucker, Lamas, has come home to help fight mobsters against his brother, who embezzled $5 million from them. So they hire Buddha Chang, played by Joe Sun. Joe Sun has pretty good acrobatics for a chubby dude. He reminds me of who's that wrestler that I just saw in the movie? That fat wrestler who used to jump off the ropes. Oh, Bam Bam Bigelow. He reminds me of, he's like a Chinese version of Bam Bam Bigelow. Here's an unflattering review from F. Markland 32 on IMDb. F. Markland 32 gives it a 2 out of 5 stars, and the title of the review is Bad Dud. Lorenzo Lamas stars as an ex-cop who reluctantly comes into one-man army mode to protect his louse of a brother after said brother. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. More like this. Midnight Man, which we're going to look up. Out of Reach. We mentioned Steven Seagal earlier. This movie is like Chow Yun Fat mixed together with Steven Seagal. The Mangler and Final Round. We'll look up Out of Reach in The Mangler if it isn't already on my list. US R-rated version misses a couple of scenes. For example, the killing of the woman and the man in the park during the first minutes of the movie. So I did watch the uncut version. All right. Here's the Bad Dud review on IMDb, dated June 18th, 2017. F. Markland 82 calls it a bad dud on IMDb. Lorenzo Lamas stars as an ex-cop who reluctantly goes into one-man army mode to protect his louse of a brother. After said brother rips off mobsters a big amount of green. The brother also stole Lamas's girlfriend, and despite all this, Lamas sees to it that said brother doesn't sleep with the fishes. The action sequences are overly choreographed, one-sided, and generally unexciting, but the main problem with Lamas Loser is simply the question of why. And by that, why is Lorenzo Lamas willing to protect his idiot of a brother? That is a plot hole. But we don't care because the relentless violence and nudity is it's just hitting our brain and making us not notice. The brother openly endangers family members, love interests, including Lamas's new girlfriend, and though out of the whole film is openly openly lying about not having the money. Said brother is a swarmy, dull, and arrogant jerk in need of bullet therapy. Ergo, by having such character be the reason for Lorenzo Lamas jump jacks and jumping over fireballs, none of it seems to be really justified. Lorenzo Lamas is no better or worse than he usually is. Once again, his movies were made toward female action fans, as he is there to strike Fabio poses and bare his chest. But the problem is that there is no rooting interest in anyone. John P. Ryan shows up as Lamas' father, but alas, is completely wasted in a nothing role. He just sits around and watches television, and he smiles when his life is in danger. This guy was a great bad guy in Death Wish 4, Avenging Force, Runaway Train, Bound, and gave the perfect Patton impression in Delta Force 2 as Bad Blood's running time went on. I wish I was watching those films instead, and that about sums it up. So there you have an alternate view. Again, we're calling this mindless entertainment. All of these plot holes and the meaningless John P. Ryan role can be overlooked by just enjoying the movie for what it is. It has so many exploitative elements, just like Snake Eater 3. There are too many to ignore. And this reviewer just ignored all of them. In contrast to this German version, rated not under 18, misses most of the violence, but contains a shooting scene in the park and a few other scenes which are missing in the US version. Dutch release is fully uncut. So I don't know if I watched the German version or the Dutch release. Now I'm super confused. This features Shoot Fighter, Fight to the Death from 1993. Release date March 24th, 1995 in the US. Country of origin US. Language English, also known as Viper, which is the title of the movie. So I'm putting in the movie title. I'm putting the international title, not the US title. Filming locations 140 West 4th Street, Los Angeles, California, USA. Production companies MDB Productions and Spart Films. Runtime an hour 30 minutes, 90 minutes. This is in color. The sound mix is ultra stereo. And there you have it. Viper, aka Bad Blood. Cool flick, highly recommended. Check it out. If you don't mind the plot holes, the torture scene, and the and the pathetic father figure, John P. Ryan, who's completely lost in this movie, then give it a shot. I mean, it's not a perfect movie by any means, but for a Lorenzo Lamas movie, I think he hit it out of the park. I agree with him. East Side Kids 1940 is number one on my list, followed by House by the River 1950, another Fritz Lang flick. And then we've got The War of the Vendee 2012. That's number 3. So nothing in the way of Karate Man movies coming up for the rest of this weekend or next week for that matter. Although I do have Code of Silence 1985 at number 4. So I might get to that next weekend. I pretty much gave up ringing doorbells in my neighborhood as a means for getting a roof over my head before the deadline on November 3rd. But I reached out to the pastor at IHM, the second church that I take my son to for altar service. I'd say it's way better than the than the other church, Start of the Sea, in terms of quality of priests. I pretty much ignore the priests over there, but I do enjoy talking to Father Konopik, even if he gives me funny expressions or he runs away after I make him mad. So the first church on Geary is more of a, I want to say, it's more of a country club atmosphere where people hang out and talk. IHM is much more serious, and I think Father Matza actually knows what he's doing over there, just because he's been around for so many decades. And yeah, I think he went to the seminary in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know why he hasn't retired, but he's doing a great job over there. I really like his church bulletin writing. Anyway, he recommended that I should go through the Society of St. Vincent de Paul in San Mateo, which was a great idea. But I got confused, and I started calling the San Francisco Society of St. Vincent de Paul, and they never returned my phone calls. So I go on the website for the San Mateo version of Society of St. Vincent de Paul, and they recommended that I go through the Daly City Welfare Office first. And if the Daly City Welfare Office can't find me any housing, then they give me a referral to St. Vincent de Paul Society. So the Catholic Church wants you to go on welfare before you ask for any charity, basically. And Catholic Charities of San Francisco just referred me to some Episcopal organization. I don't even want to get involved with them, but I tried emailing them twice. I got no response. So I think I'm headed in the right direction. Father Matza does not lead me astray. He doesn't feed me to the wolves. He actually gives me good advice. And for that, I'm very grateful to him. I try to get some of the Start of the Sea parishioners to go to his church, but I guess they've been conditioned to going there for so long that they don't want to give it up yet. So that's the end of my review. I got the White Warrior poster in the background going for the umpteenth time. And we'll try to avoid the shaky camera. Sorry for that. But hopefully you enjoyed my review. I'll try to get through East Side Kids later today. I got lazy and I didn't finish Viper last night. I just wanted to go to bed and rest. I was tired from running around doing grocery shopping, even though I got an hour. I got off an hour early for no apparent reason. I guess only 11 people were in the office. So my boss decided to close the office early. Cool. So that was a blessing. I got to sleep an hour earlier. Maybe I can wake up early and update my list. I think I'm up to, what is it, 4,900. I'm up to, my list just keeps expanding by the day. And I'm not getting any recommendations from Karate Man or Adrian or Jeff Jaffe or Professor Quiz or NASA Genre Cult. I'm up to 4,940 entries on my movies list. I don't know if I'll get to them, all of them. I might die first, but that's the deal. That's the goal. Oh, there we go. White Warrior is in the picture now. Laters.